Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to say that I appreciate what Mr. McKeon was saying before. I don't like to come to these hearings where they're gotcha kinds of hearings, but where we will get some ideas of how we can do things better. And I appreciate the title of Dr. Jackson's comments, Lessons Learned from the Response, because if we don't learn lessons and implement those lessons, then we're just going to continue to do these hearings where we try to figure out who to blame, and we want to stop doing that and figure out what to do better. So I appreciate the comments that are being made. But I'd like to ask Dr. Jackson, how did the number of incidents of on-site rescue workers' injuries compare to other responses or even other construction and demolition sites? Has somebody kept track of those records? I know that that's got to be somewhat of a challenge, but tell me about the comparison data that we have.
Well, in our work, we compared 4 major incidents, the 2 9/11 responses, Hurricane Andrew, and the Northridge earthquake. And unfortunately, I have to mainly answer your question, we don't really know. And that's partially because the difficulties in collecting data about what happens at those incidents means that there's a dearth of actual counts of what injuries occurred. And people did mention at the World Trade Center site, because it was sort of a centralized location, there was some data collection. And in some cases, there were fewer numbers of injuries than you might have expected. But that was actually something that we called out in our study as one of the things that needs to be done at future disasters, is to better collect that data, not just so we know afterwards how we're doing, but to get that data as quickly as they can into the response commander's hands. So if you know that a lot of injuries are happening in one way, you can change what you're doing to try to reduce them.
Mr. Chairman, just one other comment, if I could. I appreciate also, Ms. Clark, your comments about the importance of the local folks. I just think we are not very well equipped at the federal level in most cases to deal with handling on the ground things. The coordination is very important, but again, I think it's going to be critical that we have in the National Response Plan ways that we respond with coordination, and also have some flexibility there so that people are able to take advantage. Every situation is going to be different. You can't possibly plan ahead for every possible contingency, but that there be ways for folks to understand how to utilize particularly the local people and give them as much authority and responsibility as possible. But probably ultimately somebody's got to be put in charge. I can't understand how you can do these things when you have multiple people in charge. Somebody has to make some final decisions and take the responsibility. Thank you.